Welcome, dear soul, to this sacred space, a sanctuary carved from the quiet pauses of life, a refuge for the weary heart. Pause with me now. Let the gentle rhythm of your breath become your anchor, drawing you away from the clamor of the external world and into the profound stillness within. Feel the subtle rise and fall of your chest, a silent testament to the life force that animates you, a whisper of the divine presence that resides at your core. In this moment, there is nothing you need to achieve, no performance to maintain, no expectation to meet. Simply be. Be here, now, with the full, unfiltered reality of your being. We gather today not to strive or to pretend, but to remember, to reconnect, to be held. There's a subtle whisper that often circulates in the human experience, a quiet yet persistent question that can gnaw at the edges of our peace. Do you think God's love is a conditional gift, bestowed only when we are strong, when our spirits soar with joy, when our faith stands unshakable? It's a question that can surface in moments of doubt, in the valleys of our struggles, when the light seems dim and the path forward obscured. We might find ourselves measuring our worth against an unseen standard, believing that our spiritual currency is earned through resilience, through unwavering positivity, through a faith that never falters. This internal calculus can lead us to feel that when we are weak, when sadness casts its shadow, when our faith wavers like a flickering candle, we somehow become less deserving, less worthy of that boundless, unconditional love we so deeply crave. It is a heavy burden to carry, this notion that our spiritual standing is contingent upon our emotional state or the perceived strength of our belief. Consider the profound wisdom offered by Charles Spurgeon, a man who navigated immense personal suffering and profound spiritual darkness. He reminds us, with a clarity born of deep experience, that God's love is not reserved for a future, idealized version of ourselves, the one who has it all together, who always radiates strength and certainty. No, Spurgeon's testament is to a love that embraces us precisely as we are, in this very moment, in the midst of our sadness, our weakness, our uncertainty. This is the liberating truth we will explore together, that the divine affection poured out upon us is not a reward for our perceived perfection, but an inherent, unchanging reality that surrounds us, sustains us, and embraces us, no matter the landscape of our inner world. This exploration is for anyone who has ever felt the sting of inadequacy, the chill of self-doubt, the quiet ache of feeling unworthy. It is for the moments when the laughter feels forced, when the prayers feel hollow, when the sheer effort of putting one foot in front of the other feels like a Herculean task. We are not meant to navigate these shadowed valleys alone, nor are we meant to believe that our presence in them somehow diminishes the love that is our birthright. God's love, as we will delve into, is not tethered to the ebb and flow of our human emotions, nor is it dependent on the outward projection of our spiritual fortitude. It is a deep, abiding current, a constant, unwavering light that shines even when the clouds obscure our vision. As we embark on this journey, we will gently uncover why this divine love is so profoundly unshakable, how even in the darkest of days, the faithful can find rest in the unwavering grace that sustains them. We will confront the truth of God's unchanging affection, a love that sees beyond our temporary states and recognizes the eternal spark within us. You don't have to be okay for God to love you. He already does. This is the foundational truth that can liberate us from the tyranny of perfectionism and invite us into a deeper, more authentic connection with the divine. Prepare to be soothed, to be reminded, and to be deeply, unconditionally loved. The notion that God's love hinges on our emotional state or our perceived spiritual strength is a subtle, often unconscious, distortion. It's akin to believing a sunbeam's warmth is contingent upon the flower's ability to unfurl its petals perfectly. The sunbeam shines regardless. Similarly, divine affection is an inherent quality of the universe, a fundamental energy that permeates all existence, not a reward for our current level of spiritual or emotional maturity. This love doesn't fluctuate with our joy or despair, it simply is. Think of it as the gravity that holds us to the earth, or the air we breathe, essential, ever-present, and utterly independent of our personal circumstances. It's a foundational truth that, when truly embraced, can dismantle the structures of self-judgment we so often erect. Building on this, consider how this divine love interacts with our human frailty. When we feel overwhelmed, when our faith feels like a whisper in a hurricane, this love doesn't withdraw. Instead, it becomes the very bedrock upon which we can stand, even when our knees tremble. The strength we perceive as necessary for divine favor is often a mask we wear, a carefully constructed facade to hide the very parts of ourselves that are most in need of embrace. God's love doesn't require us to be stoic, it welcomes our tears, our questions, our moments of profound doubt. These are not indicators of a lack of faith, but rather, profound opportunities for deeper connection, for an even more intimate unveiling of our authentic selves to the divine. Furthermore, the truth about God's unchanging affection means that our perceived unworthiness is a human construct, not a divine decree. Our minds, conditioned by societal expectations and personal histories, often create hierarchies of deservingness. Yet, from a spiritual perspective, every soul is intrinsically valuable, an expression of the divine itself. When Spurgeon spoke of resting in grace during his darkest days, he wasn't suggesting a passive resignation, but an active surrender to a love that was already present, already holding him. It was an acknowledgement that his own efforts to earn that love were futile, because it was freely given, an unearned inheritance. This perspective shifts the focus from our performance to our very being, from what we do to who we fundamentally are. Consequently, when you face moments of deep sadness, when the weight of the world seems unbearable, and the thought arises, "I'm not good enough for love right now," remember this unchanging affection. It's not about overcoming your sadness to receive love, it's about recognizing that love is already present, a constant embrace that wraps around you even in your sorrow. This is not to diminish the reality of pain, but to reframe its context. Your pain does not alienate you from love, it is a part of the human tapestry that love embraces. The very act of acknowledging your struggle, of being vulnerable, is an opening, a space where this unconditional love can be most profoundly felt and experienced. It is in these moments of perceived weakness that the true strength of divine love is revealed. Another crucial layer is understanding that God's love isn't based on our emotions because emotions are inherently fluid. They are like the weather, constantly changing, influenced by countless internal and external factors. To anchor a love as vast and eternal as the divine to something as transient as human feelings would be to diminish its very nature. Divine love operates on a different plane, a dimension of being rather than becoming. It sees the whole of you, the past, present, and future, the light and the shadow, and loves you completely. Your current emotional state, whether it be joy, sorrow, peace, or turmoil, is merely a passing cloud in the vast sky of your being, and the sun of divine love continues to shine, undimmed, behind it all. Reflecting on this journey so far, we've begun to perceive the intricate tapestry of divine affection, a fabric woven not from the threads of our outward appearances or momentary states, but from an intrinsic, unwavering source. The echoes of past moments, where the weight of our human experience might have suggested a conditional embrace, now resonate with a deeper understanding. It's as if a complex melody, once perceived as discordant, has resolved into a harmonious chord, revealing a foundational truth that underpins all our perceived ups and downs. This unfolding awareness invites us to shed the often unseen burdens of self-measurement, to recognize that the very essence of our being is already held within a love that transcends the limitations of our current perceptions. As we stand at this juncture, consider how the various facets we've touched upon converge, like tributaries flowing into a vast, serene ocean. The insights into the nature of spiritual energy, the quiet resilience found in surrender, and the profound implications of an unshakable affection all weave together, forming a more coherent and deeply felt understanding of our place within the grander design. This convergence doesn't offer a simplistic solution, but rather, a profound recalibration of perspective. It's a subtle yet powerful shift, like a telescope adjusting its focus to reveal a clearer, more expansive vista. The landscape of our inner lives, once perhaps perceived as a series of isolated challenges, now begins to reveal itself as part of a continuous, divinely guided unfolding. In light of these converging insights, the path forward beckons with a quiet invitation to integrate this profound truth into the very fabric of our daily existence. It's not about a dramatic overhaul, but a gentle infusion, a conscious alignment with the deeper currents of being that we've begun to explore. The whispers of doubt may still arise, the shadows of past conditioning may linger, but now, we carry within us a more robust compass, a deeper knowing that can guide us through the inevitable complexities of life. This internal recalibration fosters a quiet confidence, a trust in the process, and an increasing capacity to meet each moment with a heart that is both open and grounded, recognizing that the love we seek is the very ground upon which we stand. As we pivot towards the final reflection, let this understanding settle within you, not as an intellectual concept, but as a felt sense, a quiet resonance in the depths of your soul. The journey has been one of gentle unveiling, of peeling back layers of assumption to reveal the radiant core of unconditional acceptance that has always been present. This is the essence of what awaits us as we move towards a concluding affirmation, a moment to anchor this profound realization and carry its light forward. The pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, are beginning to align, revealing not a destination, but a way of being, a continuous journey embraced by an eternal, unwavering love. The culmination of our shared reflection brings us to a sacred precipice, a moment where the insights gathered begin to coalesce, forming a more profound and integrated understanding of our inherent worthiness. As we stand here, having journeyed through the quiet landscapes of the soul and the boundless expanses of divine energy, we can perceive how the seemingly disparate threads of our exploration are, in fact, intricately woven into a single, luminous tapestry. This is not merely about intellectual assent, it is about a deep, felt knowing that can permeate the very core of our being, shifting our perception of ourselves and our relationship with the divine. Consider how the exploration of spiritual forces, the gentle lessons of surrender, and the unwavering nature of divine affection intermingle, creating a powerful synergy. It's as if multiple streams, each carrying its own unique essence, are converging, their waters merging to form a river of immense power and grace. This convergence doesn't erase the individuality of each stream, but rather, enhances them, creating a flow that is both broader and deeper than any single source. The truth we are moving towards is not a simple summation, but a transformative synthesis, where the whole becomes infinitely greater than the sum of its parts, offering a new lens through which to view our existence. In light of these converging insights, the path forward reveals itself not as a series of arduous climbs, but as a gentle descent into a deeper wellspring of peace and self-acceptance. The perceived need to achieve a certain state of being to be worthy of love dissolves, replaced by an understanding of an ever-present, unconditional embrace. This is the essence of what we are preparing to anchor, a profound, embodied recognition that the very fabric of our existence is interwoven with a love that asks nothing in return, a love that is our birthright, freely given and eternally available. The subtle shifts in perspective we've experienced are not mere intellectual exercises, they are the stirrings of a deeper awakening, a remembering of a truth that has always resided within us. As we pivot towards the final reflection, allow this sense of integrated understanding to settle, to permeate your awareness like the gentle warmth of the rising sun. The journey has been one of quiet discovery, of peeling back the layers of conditioning to reveal the radiant, unwavering core of divine affection that has always been our true nature. This is the profound realization that awaits us, an anchoring affirmation that will resonate long after this moment has passed, empowering us to walk through life with a newfound sense of peace, purpose, and unwavering belonging. The nuances of our human experience, once perceived as potential barriers, now appear as invitations to experience this love more deeply, more authentically. The true practice begins now, not in striving to be worthy, but in knowing that worthiness is not a prize to be won, but the very air you breathe. The journey we've shared has illuminated a profound truth: God's love is not a conditional reward, contingent upon our strength, our joy, or the perceived fortitude of our faith. Instead, it is the foundational reality of your existence, an unshakable current that flows beneath the surface of every human experience, including your moments of deepest sadness and perceived weakness. This is not a passive observation, but a radical reorientation, a liberation from the heavy burden of performance that so often weighs upon the human spirit. You are loved, not because you are perfect, but because you are. This love sees you, truly sees you, in all your magnificent, unfolding humanity, and it embraces every facet of your being with an unwavering, eternal affection. This understanding calls us to a gentle yet powerful surrender, not to fate, but to the boundless grace that already surrounds us. It invites us to release the illusion that our spiritual standing is measured by our emotional highs or lows. When the shadows lengthen, and the path feels uncertain, this truth becomes our anchor. It whispers that even in the quiet ache of vulnerability, even in the moments when faith feels like a distant memory, the divine presence remains steadfast, a silent, loving witness to your unfolding journey. Spurgeon's own profound resilience emerged not from an absence of struggle, but from a deep, unwavering trust in this ever-present love, a love that sustained him through his darkest days. This same love is available to you, not as a future aspiration, but as an immediate, palpable reality, waiting to be recognized and received. The implication of this unwavering affection is vast. It means that your perceived unworthiness is a construct of the mind, not a reflection of divine reality. God's love is not a finite resource that can be depleted by your struggles or diminished by your doubts. It is an infinite ocean, and your every experience, every emotion, every question, is simply a ripple on its surface, embraced by its depth. The practice, then, is to turn your gaze inward, not to find fault or measure your progress, but to feel the steady pulse of this love within you. It is to allow this truth to reframe your inner landscape, to soften the harsh judgments you may hold against yourself, and to open your heart to the profound acceptance that is your birthright. As you carry this awareness forward, remember that the most profound spiritual growth often occurs not in the moments of triumph, but in the quiet courage to be fully present with yourself, even when that presence feels imperfect. The true practice begins now, in the simple, sacred act of breathing in this unconditional love and exhaling with gratitude for the truth of your being. You don't need to be okay to be loved. You are loved precisely because you are here, now, in all your beautiful, human complexity. May this profound knowing settle deep within your soul, becoming the quiet, radiant center from which you navigate your days, always held, always cherished, always loved.